First ball goes down the screw, comes off the screw, hits the ramp or incline plane, hits the dominoes to generate energy. Then the domino hits the marble. The marble comes down into the funnel. Funnel hits another ramp, hits another domino. Then hits another marble. Marble falls, hits these, then hits the wheel and axle, and then the wedge falls off and pops the balloon.
What problems did you encounter during your project?
Well, at the start, we had to move everything because the screw would not stay connected to the first ramp in the project, and we had to get other people to hold it down, and we had to get lots of help with that. And the marble would also stay off of the track, and we had lots of troubles with getting it on track. And the height of most of the items with the container, we had to put binders underneath to keep it all at the same height because we had to reorganize a bunch of stuff. And all the changes with the marble instead of the car, because the car would either go too fast or too slow. And with the marble, we had the same problem, but we managed to get that under control a lot easier than the car. And also the balance, the marbles, and trying to keep them in the right area.
How did you overcome the problems you encountered?
We got a lot of advice from friends who were having almost the same troubles, but they kind of understood what we were kind of going through. And we had to get them to hold stuff, but it was going good when we got them to help, and we had to change the height and the angle of stuff and where it was all placed.
Did all of your simple machines work? Explain.
They all worked separately. They were all just fine, but then when we put them all together and connected them, they did not work very well. We had to move them a lot. The screw was not supposed to be at the start of the project. It was supposed to be at the end of the ramp under the funnel. So we had to move that a lot. And yeah.
What did you do? What would you do different next time, and why?
I think we would be more prepared for failure and not be so stressed out about it. Also come more prepared with items and know that we would probably have to change it, and just be prepared for failure next time.
What were the problems you encountered during your project? Well, the first problem was that the screw wouldn't stay connected to the first ramp. In the Rube Goldberg project, we had to get other people to hold it down so the marble wouldn't go down. It couldn't go down without it, or else it would just fly off the track. Also, the height we had to change with binders and stuff because the wedge was either too low to the ground and wouldn't pop the balloon. Yeah. Height. We also had to use we had to use a marble instead of a car to go down the track because the car wouldn't make it all the way, or the car would either have too much speed or not enough speed. We had a lot of troubles controlling the speed with the car, so that's why we switched it to the marble. It's also a lot easier to control. Also balance, mainly with the marble in front of the screw. We had to, that was hard to balance. We had to make little wedges in it for it to stay there. How did we overcome these problems that we encountered? We got advice from our classmates and friends, and they helped with holding stuff in place, like the screw and balloon. We also just changed up most of the stuff, like the placement of the screw. We had to move it to the beginning, and we had to change the placement of dominoes, and yeah. It was easy fixing our problems, just as long as we stayed calm about it, because we would get mad and then everything would fall over or wouldn't work. Did all our simple machines work? They all worked separately, but when they were all together, some of them wouldn't work. Like the screw would either screw everything up or like, but so then that's why we changed stuff and put stuff in. Like we moved the screw around and stuff like that. 4. What would you do differently next time? Why? Next time we should be more prepared for failure, because it was like really like, and stay not stressed out, because it was like really stressing when it didn't work. Like we get really angry, and next time we should do better measurements, not just like guess the measurements, because that would help with a lot of things. Like we would have had to spend 20 minutes finding binders and getting everything to have the right height, and how we like planned everything out, because we should have just had the screw start at the beginning, but like we just had to change a lot of things around. So yeah.